Right then, guys, let's move on to some predictions now. Hugh, I'm going to come to you first. This draw is really, really interesting. And the third place positions for some of these teams moving into those knockouts is also going to really kind of make it look very, very different to what we traditionally know. Of course, Portugal finished third in their group in the last tournament and went all the way. So you can finish third and win this Euros. So two questions for you. First of all, we've spoken about England a lot, so I'd love to know your prediction on how far you think England will go in this tournament. And then, broadly speaking, who's in your final and who wins it?
I mean, I think England could go far, but what I would say is finishing second in England's group might be better for them. A little bit like the World Cup. They might get a better side of the draw if they don't actually win their group, because of course, if they do win the group, they will play whoever finished second in the group of death, basically, including Germany, France, and Portugal. Exactly. And so I think England in some ways might be better off finishing second in the group. But I actually think they'll top the group. There's something I think about the way that the fixtures fall. I think if they get a draw against Croatia, they win the next couple of games, they could easily win the group. I know there's a couple of tough games in for England after that, but I still expect them to do well there. And then I think they'll probably play Portugal in the second round. And I think England might lose that game in the second round. I'd love to see them go all the way, but I think they just lack a rhythm. They lack a sense of composure right now in terms of knowing exactly what all of their roles are, knowing what their best 11 is, knowing who plays where, having those combinations all over the pitch, having that relationship. Whatever England team we see in that first game, we know it's not going to be a team that's played a load of football together. And to go and win the European Championship like that is going to be a really, really tough ask. So if England finish second in the group, maybe semi-finals, who knows, playing at Wembley in the semis, they could go all the way, because I think that 12th man, that home support might count. But I think generally speaking, it's going to be a tough one for England. I think my bet for who might win the tournament is Italy. I think they've been a little bit under the radar for a while. And that's because, of course, the qualification for the last couple of tournaments and performances have been subpar for a country that has put so many great teams out before. But I think this team under Roberto Mancini, their manager, are doing great things. They're unbeaten in 27. They've won the last 8 games straight without conceding a single goal. I think they've just, like I say, got that rhythm, that idea of what we are, an identity, a team spirit back. And of course, all that expectation that Italy always have, I think it is on their shoulders, but I think they're going to cope with it well because they don't have an individual superstar. For them to do well, they know they have to be a great team. And that's what they are right now, a unit, a powerful forward line. And I think they're going to do really well. So Italy are my outside bet right now. I don't know what you think, Mark. Could England go all the way? What do you think about Italy?
I mean, England could go all the way. Let's be honest, they've got all but one of the games at home if they do progress to the final. But I agree with you. I think you look at winning the group, and that for me is just a dead end, because Germany, Portugal, or France, I think Germany would be the team they'd rather play. I think Germany are the beatable team, and that's saying something. I think France, forget it. Portugal, everyone focuses on Ronaldo, but Portugal got so much talent. You know, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva. They've got Ruben Dias at the back. That, you know, João Felix. Portugal, for me, are a very, very dangerous side. I think a dark horse to win this tournament. So if England finish top of the group, they could miss again. I'll take the last 16. If they could finish second, I think they're due to face France in the quarters potentially. So whichever way you go, there's a real kind of roadblock in the way. So I don't think England will win it. I think England will get to, second round or quarterfinals at best. Italy, I think they definitely shake up. Mancini's made them very hard to beat. But I do think that, you know, France for me are the obvious favourites. If France click with the players they've got, that they're going to be unstoppable. But I think in terms of an outside, if I look at Belgium, you know, Belgium, every tournament for the last 10 years now, that they've been the team that's ready to explode. But I think they've got quite an easy group, you know, Russia, Finland, and I'm not sure the other team is, but it's not a group that you think that Belgium will struggle to get out of. I think Belgium can go all the way. I think it depends on De Bruyne's fitness, how bad he's been affected by that injury sustained in the Champions League final. But if De Bruyne proves his fitness, can play with a mask, I think Belgium are a very big team out there. So for me, I think France will win it. If not, I think they keep looking at Belgium. England, it could be second round, boys.
I've got a bad feeling about it as well, I'll be honest. I think I agree with Mark. I think that the draw is really, as much as it sorted us out in 2018, I think it's really it made it so hard for us because, yeah, like you say, to get through, I think it would be Portugal, then I think it would be Spain if we top the group, then it would be the other one from the group of death. And then you play France in the final. It's outrageous, to be honest. I think it's going to be too much for us. I think what we want to see is with an England squad that's, I think the average age is 25, which is it's so young. I think we want to see steps towards winning the World Cup maybe next year. So I want to see us beat one of these big teams. That would be progress for me, because I think that's what was missing in 2018. The tournament itself, I think Belgium are a good shout. I think Portugal are a really, really good shout. The thing with Belgium is that they've got a lovely sort of route to the semi-finals. Then they'll probably play France, and it's if they can beat France or not. I agree with Mark. I just think I can't see beyond France. I just can't. The depth that's there, even the players that you kind of wonder, are they sort of coming to the end? Someone like Giroud, he just gets put to the side. You put Benzema in, who's had the season of his life. Griezmann plays unbelievably for France consistently. He scored a cracking goal again the other night. You look at the depth in defence as well. Pavard's a wonderful footballer. The midfield's got N'Golo Kante in it. And I think Pogba and Benzema as well. When I think of Benzema coming into all of this, I feel a bit like Cavani and Pogba. I think they had such a connection, the pair of them. And I could see Pogba, having that element of freedom because Kante puts in so much work, and there being a really nice connection there. I just can't see past France. I can't see how anyone really makes them even sort of bend to their will. It does feel like, and we've seen it a couple of times recently, haven't we? We've seen it with Spain. We've seen it in France back at the start of the millennium. I just think that sometimes you kind of have a sort of 4 to 6 year span where you look really good and they've got that kind of motivation as well. And this feels like that for me.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.